Hello, my name is Jeff Horolka. I want to thank you for checking out my video. I had a request for a tutorial on the Oasis song Live Forever, and I've got, looks like 4 key practices here that I think will help you to master this song. So I'm going to dive right in. Before I do, thank you if you've chosen to subscribe. If you haven't yet, I hope you will consider doing so now. If you want a step-by-step method to work on your voice, head over to jeffhorolka.com. My free AAA method is there. You just sign up on the email list and you get instant access to it, and you can go ahead and dive right in. One last word, YouTube has disabled fan funding, and contributions to the channel were always greatly appreciated, and they helped me keep going with videos and live events on Saturdays at 6 p.m. if you have questions or want demonstrations. You can still make donations, and they are greatly appreciated, and they really help me. You can do so via my website, jeffhorolka.com, on either the home page or the contact page. But if you don't want to use PayPal, just get in touch and we'll work it out. In diving into the first verse, we have the line, "Maybe I don't really want to know." And if you don't know this song at all, start with the lip trill. If you know the song kind of well, then you might just do a solid E vowel for that first phrase. Now notice when I'm re-articulating those pitches, I'm still singing through the phrase. We want to get into the habit of keeping the air moving through the phrase. That is going to help us align our vowels, get them sounding the same to the phrase. Then we take the vowels from the song. So may, be, a, e, and so on and so forth. And when that lines up, so you've got really, really nice connectivity between your vowels, then put the consonants back in, but make your priority the vowels. Maybe I don't really want to know. And work through the rest of your lines that way. Do that a couple times and you won't have to go line by line anymore. And for most male vocalists, if you're a tenor, this is going to fall right below the secondo passaggio. Baritones, these phrases are going to kind of hinge right over where your secondo passaggio is, and it may prove a little bit more challenging. Next phrase, maybe I just want to fly. There's a couple tricky parts in here. One, we have to make sure that the E natural in this phrase remains our focal point, especially after we dip down to the B. The dip down to the B must be supported, and that's the tricky part, number 2. So when you sing this, again, lip trill it first if you're totally unfamiliar with it or if you're just beginning to work on the tune. If you're a little bit further along, then keep that E natural, the note that you're going for. You always want to be going to that E. And then you can start putting the vowels from the lyrics back in. And also an additional note here that just is the word that falls on the B natural. That sound will be, it will challenge you to stay engaged and stay focused. The habit there typically is to go too wide on it. But it can be really tough to get back into a narrow, nicely produced vowel for the D natural that comes right after it, which is why it's so crucial for us to sing through the bottom of the phrase. We have to keep supporting. And of course, then you can put the lyrics back in. Maybe I just want to fly. Next phrase. This is still part of our chorus before the tag, and it has a little bit of a melodic variation. Here we're going to hover around E natural, going up to a G and then down to the D. Again, that dip down to the D is going to be a little challenging because we're getting really close to the secondo passaggio for the male tenor, and that means that if we fall down into the D natural, don't believe, then we will tend to go out and it'll be a strain to get up to that E. So once again, again, making sure that we keep the air moving through all these repetitive pitches. That's one of the, that skill of keeping air moving through pitches that are repeated is it's like a hidden difficulty in singing. You'd think, oh, I'm just singing the same pitch over and over and over again. But it's easy to chop up the air column, and if we do that, then we tend to lose support, and it gets harder and harder and harder, and then they throw this G natural at the end of the phrase. If you're good at that, a solid vowel. Now you might want to try to make a crescendo through this phrase, thinking about getting back to the E, but up to the G. And that will make sure that you have enough space and enough oomph, lift, and support to have the G speak properly. Now we put the vowels from our phrase back in. The O might prove a little challenging to focus. Maybe I just don't believe. And again, we have that sound at the bottom of the phrase, challenging us to stay engaged on this descending interval. If it's really problematic, practice just that. You can alternate between a narrow vowel between those two notes, that's G and D, and then go back to the vowels from the phrase O, Maybe I just don't believe. Keeping sure to keep the air moving through the phrase. And this is a really cool thing that I think that they did here, which is that he then goes to this falsetto tone production for the You and I Were Gonna Live Forever. So, I. Get the vowels going first. Now, if you're having problems keeping the air moving through this phrase, rather than partially adducting the vocal fold initially in your practice, come at it with a more closed production, and that will help you get the right phrase length. Because I think that it's appropriate to figure out how much air is necessary in the voice to have the vibe, but if we want to do this on one breath and make it a nice clean phrase, then how adducted do I have to be so I get good efficiency of airflow? If you come at it from and then start to bleed a little bit of air into it, then you can find the right amount of air that you want in your phrase that gets you the vibe that you want. But always starting from a well-adducted vocal fold and then working towards that partially abducted. So adducted is closed, abducted is separated. The abduction gets us that airy vocal quality that is so appropriate in a lot of what we do, but it very much, we lose a lot of air, and so it limits our phrase length. So we come at it from being well adducted, and then partially adduct it. And find that sweet spot for you, for your voice, and for the way that you want to sing this. I hope this video helps. I love these suggestions, so please drop them in the comment section. Better yet, drop them in Twitter. I love the number of comments, and I do my best to answer them all, but I'm realizing that I'm missing a lot, and I'm missing more and more. And it's one of those good problems to have because there's so much engagement, and I'm really appreciative of it. But I really want to answer your questions, and I really want to take your suggestions. So Twitter is becoming a better way to make sure that your requests are heard, or come to my live events, 6 p.m. London time, Saturdays here on YouTube. and I can do demonstrations and all that kind of stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Take really good care of your voices. Enjoy singing, and hopefully we'll see you again. Bye.